Okay guys, Matt again for my second video of the day. I just decided in between my George Harrison video, which I finished 10 minutes ago, and now that I was gonna do the Steve Miller Band in the 60s and 70s. Now guys, I am a big San Francisco Bay Area guy. I love psychedelic music. I love all the major bands anyway, which, came from that region. And even though, Steve Miller is not from the Bay Area, he's like from California. He did gain fame there. And we're going to do all those early Steve Miller Band albums from 68 to 77. So from Sailor to Book of Dreams. That's what we're going to be discussing today, or what I'm going to be discussing, rather. So let us begin. Unlike virtually every video I do, I don't have any Steve Miller box sets. I just have the CDs. So I'm going to show you first the regular old late 80s, early 90s, whatever they were, Capitol CDs, because you know what? They still sound good. For years, I pined for them to, for anybody to remaster these, whatnot, and, put them out with a proper reissue program, which they did. I think these are Japanese. No, it's Edsel. This is Children of the Future. It's got the bonus track, Sitting in Circles, which is good. It's got the lyrics, and it's remastered. So if you like this, I'll show you these too, because I have the 68 through 1970 stuff twice. But honestly, in just terms of sound quality, it's hard to beat these old Capitol CDs. They're kind of perfect sounding. Well, you can't get the glare off. Anyways, so, okay, 1968, we had two, so we might as well show them at the same time. We had Children of the Future and Sailor, still two of the best albums that the band ever made. This is the original band, with Boz Scaggs. They recorded, oh God, now I can't remember. One of these was recorded in England with Glenn Johns, right? Oh yeah, okay, there you go. Engineering Glenn Johns on Sailor. Anyways, these are both strong albums. Let's go over them. They're psychedelic, and yet, Steve was a blues guy, so he always brings that blues aspect to many of the songs. Children of the Future, Push to It, You Got the Power, In My First Mind, those all kind of segue. He was a big guy in terms of segueing the songs. They're early in his career. That's what he was doing. Baby's Calling Me Home was one of Boz Scaggs' best songs ever. I remember going with Jim once, maybe 20 years ago, and I walked into this room, to work out, and no one else was in the room, and that song was playing loud on the speakers. I remember, it was almost like a transcendental moment. It's like, wow, baby's calling me home. Step on So and Roll With It. Yeah, this blues at the end. The whole thing is strong. All right, I love it. But my favorite one, and as is the favorite one of most people I grew up with, is Sailor. Song for Our Ancestors is a great little kind of ambient kind of mood piece. Opens up the record, goes right into Dear Mary, and then Boz's My Friend, which he wrote with Tim Davis. Living in the USA, which is my favorite early Steve Miller Band song. I play it every 4th of July, actually. Quicksilver Girl, which was, I think, in Big Chill, right? Or it's in the Big Chill soundtrack. Lucky Man, Gangster of Love, which he later sang about in the Joker. Yourself Overdrive is another Boz Scaggs song, followed by Diamond Dance Romance, a third Boz Scaggs song. This is the best album, I think, all right? But this is strong, too. Years later, in 1974, there was a double LP called Anthology of Steve Miller Band, material from the Capitol era, and it had nothing from Children of the Future. I found that so weird. Why? It's on the same label as the other ones, as the other albums. Why would you just skip that? It's one of the best ones too. So weird. Okay. He maintained his 2 LP a year work schedule through 69. 2 more for you. Brave New World and Your Saving Grace. I like Brave New World a lot. That might be my, third favorite Steve Miller Band album. I probably like it as much as I like number 5 anyway. A Brave New World is great. Celebration Song is great. Cow Seasons. Space Cowboy was the other hit. You know, the only 2 songs you really heard in the 70s growing up on the on you know, rock FM radio from Steve Miller in the 60s was Space Cowboy and Living in the USA. And Living in the USA, they played that because it charted as a single when it was on the anthology album in '74. LT Summer Dream, and then My Dark Hour, which has that it has that riff before he used it again for Fly Like an Eagle. Plus, it's got Paul McCartney on that tune. So, Brave New World, one of the stronger ones. In my estimation, in the first 5 albums, maybe The Weak Link would be Your Saving Grace. I know a lot of people like this record. I mean, I like it too, but I'm not going to say it's as strong as the other ones. I'll just go over the highlights. Your Saving Grace, that's a long song with a great Nicky Hopkins piano solo. Little Girl is really good. Don't Let Nobody Turn You Around is okay. He does Motherless Children, which a lot of people did. You know, it's just okay as an album. But again, this is the 4th album he had made in less than 2 years, or about 2 years. So you can forgive him for a little bit of burnout. He wisely, in 1970, just did number 5, which I think is an improvement. It's as good as Brave New World, probably, you know. I like most of the songs on here. Good Morning, I Love You are kind of mellow, kind of folk rockish, kind of acoustic type numbers. Going to the Country is really good. Hot Chili is funny. Going to Mexico, I used to hear that on the radio. And the rest of the album kind of slightly goes downhill after that, but it's still strong enough. So these 5 albums, which a lot of Steve aficionados consider to be the creme de la creme of his career, were all done by Edsel. I already showed you Children of the Future. Here's Sailor. No other one has a bonus track after Children, but they're all remastered. They all have the lyrics, you know, and a little essay. Okay? So if you feel that, you know, that the lyrics and the essay are worth getting these instead of the old Capitol CDs, do it. You know, I've got them both, so I get it. Okay, in '71, a bit harder to track down are the next 2 albums. Rock Love, which I have here in a Japanese, what do you call these again? SHM CDs. Rock Love is his worst album from the 60s or the 70s. Yeah, this makes Your Saving Grace look like a great record. This is pretty weak. This is half studio, half live. The live stuff is almost worthless. I like the first song, you know, Enter Maurice, but I've not too much to say about this. And since it's rather expensive to get this at the moment, I almost want to say don't waste your time unless you're a completist. Much better is this From the Beginning, A Journey from Eden. Came out in '72. This is a strong album. Again, this is one of his better efforts. This is as strong as number 5, I think. I'm not gonna read the titles because again, there's no hits on here, but it's good, you know. So of this early, well, I'll do one more and then I'll sum it up. In '73, he did the Joker. Here's the what we used to call these XR CDs. This is, of course, the one which has the title track, which was a huge hit, and is the only song on the Steve Miller Band's greatest hits from the late '70s that was before 1976. Sugar Babe, Mary Lou, Shabba Dabba Ma Ma Ma, You're Cashing It but Trash, The Joker. Come on, this is actually a kind of a strong album. It's just he's taken a more commercial bent here as opposed to the, you know, sound that he had on the earlier albums. So since he did an album a year, sometimes 2 a year, from '68 to '73, I'll stop and I'll sum up. I think that the best ones were the 2 from '68, Sailor, and before that, Children of the Future. Brave New World from '69, number 5 from 1970, and then Journey from Eden. Those 5, with Sailor being the best. Don't know what I would think would be his second best album. You know, leave something in the comments, guys. You guys very rarely say anything after you watch these videos. Okay, so 74 was the Anthology double LP, which kind of gave him a new lease on life, much like 74's Endless Summer did for the Beach Boys, although that was a much more bigger selling album. That went to #1. Nothing in 1975, the first year there wasn't an album as far as I know. And in 76, he released his first grand slam with Fly Like an Eagle. This is the DCC, Steve Hoffman. Guys, I know many fans who think it hip to say that that this is just too commercial and it's not that good. I don't think he had changed his sound that much. He always liked studio effects, sound effects, studio trickery. The psych is even still here, kind of faintly. I mean, you know, the Space intro and Fly Like an Eagle are kind of psychedelic, you know. I mean, if that song were to come out in the 60s, you'd say it was psychedelic. Wild Mott and Honey's great. Serenade's cool. Dance, Dance, Dance that's one of the greatest hits, right? Mercury Blues is an old cover of a blues song. Hit the Money and Run was a hit. Rockin' Me was a hit. You Send Me, the Sam Cooke numbers, that's the filter track on the album, I think. And then Blue Odyssey is instrumental, going to Sweet Marie. And then The Window. It's really as strong as any of his earlier albums. You know, I mean, I'm gonna say, you know, I will prefer something like Sailor because I'm a big 60s Bay Area guy, but I mean, this is as strong. This is as strong as any album that any 60s San Francisco guy made in the second half of the 70s, including Buzz Skaggs. All right? And then, just as good the following year is Book of Dreams. Book of Dreams just repeats the success of Fly Like an Eagle. Again, this is the DCC. These are the only 2 Steve Miller albums that Steve Hoffman did, but he did do the Greatest Hits album too, which just contains stuff from these 2 records plus the Joker. Okay, Threshold is an instrumental, goes into Jet Airliner, a big hit. Wintertime is great. Swing Town was a hit. True Fine Love is a cool deep cut. Jungle Love was a hit. The Stake was a hit. I mean, it's cut for cut virtually as good as Fly Like an Eagle. All right. Okay. After that was the Greatest Hits album, and then, you know, nothing until the 80s, where he still had hits in the early 80s. Abracadabra went to #1, I think, in 82. But I'm going to say this is his golden era. It was the 60s and the 70s. He may not have a 5-star album, but he has plenty of good albums. I told you the only ones I thought were kind of weak is Rock Love and maybe Your Saving Grace. But Your Saving Grace is actually not that bad of a record. So, you know, parting thoughts. I'm slowly taking off my favorite Bay Area or San Francisco bands. Now, my last one I did, Silent Family Stone, got a lot of views, so hopefully this will too. They used to play Steve Miller relentlessly on the radio growing up, but just pretty much the stuff from that Greatest Hits album in 78. You know, that was like Eagles' Greatest Hits or something. You know, it's like everybody had that record. So, yeah, Steve, you did good. I remember in the 90s when he guested on Paul McCartney's Flaming Pie album. I liked that album a lot, and I liked the tracks that Steve was on. So, all right, here we go. Till the next time I do a Bay Area video. Who's going to be next? Maybe Quicksilver? No, CCR, probably. All right. Okay, so Matt signing off. Till next time.